Hey guys, Bridget here. In this video, I want to show you a quick tip in order to make responsive designs in Figma. Now, just before you get started, I also want to remind you that I recently launched a brand new version of my How to Get Started in UI UX Design ebook. So feel free to download it in the link in the description. And now, without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Now we're going to see how we can create these responsive styles in a very fast and efficient way. And this applies for a number of different type of sections that you might have on web design projects or web app projects also. And the way that it works is actually quite simple. So if you go ahead and you examine the auto layout containers, you're going to notice that we do have, in this case, it's an instance, but essentially it's going to be the main container. And then below that, we're going to find the two containers, one for the headline and one for the items, which are nested below. And we're going to specifically focus on these ones since at the end of the day, these are simply resized text. But what is most interesting for us is how can we create these basically these containers go and stack vertically, which is actually quite simple. And you wanted to essentially have a look at the direction because by default, what most designers always use is vertical layout and horizontal layout, and that is for good reasons. However, there is this wrap which is going to make the magic happen, so to speak. So if we go ahead and we, for example, I'm going to simply select and applicate this, and I'm going to literally build this up on the go. I can select just this one element and paste it here. And so in your case, you can simply have typography or this element. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach the instance. I'm also going to basically undo the auto layout just so that I can show you like from scratch how this is working. So there is this just one auto layout applied to the text element. And then we have this essentially icon here on top. So what we're going to do is we're going to select both of these, apply an auto layout, and then at this point, we're going to simply add a fill so we can better see what's going on. And we can actually go ahead and maybe add just a little bit of padding on the top, and that'll do. And at this point, we're going to have the main auto layout duplicated just a few times. So again, nothing crazy, nothing fancy. All of the settings of the auto layout are going to remain the same. So we're not going to tweak the width, none of these settings here. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to select all of this, if allows me to do so. And we're going to create another auto layout on top of it. Now, this is going to be the container auto layout, which we just described. And what you're going to notice is that by default, if we try and resize, nothing happens. So you can see that right here, we have the horizontal auto layout, which is the default auto layout that we always have. However, if I use wrap, then you're going to notice that finally we can have this effect applied. So this is actually going to make all of this work together. And we can even push it one step further and say that these elements are actually going to fill the container. So if we try that again, you can notice that we can have also this effect right here. However, of course, the auto layout or the wrap effect is not going to come in place because these are now flexible elements. So you're going to need to basically make that decision if you wanted to simply wrap and have these fixed, or you can even do one more thing, which is set a minimum width, which in this case would be 350. And this is essentially going to make it flexible in a way where you can actually leverage the two elements that we described. So you can also mix and match it potentially. But to keep the things simple for the very most part, I would either go with one or the other. I mean, you don't necessarily need to build like an entire responsive design in Figma. I think that usually for the vast majority of designers out there, you want to create something which is somewhat flexible, but you're still going to want to create the desktop version and also the mobile version at the bare minimum if you're tackling responsive design. And that is simply going to make it easier. So I wouldn't stress too much about making it pixel perfect because at the end of the day, um, chances are also that only you know that this Figma file is going to be responsive. Stakeholders and developers are probably not going to go ahead and basically check it out like that all the time. They usually want a reference for desktop and mobile based on a decade of experience of what I've seen out there. But you still want to keep these options in mind. So keep it in mind. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the very next one.